Mama? Mama! I was looking for you. You're the only one left. Maybe then I can finally rest. Mama. What's wrong? Wait. You're not my mama. It's you.
I'm sorry, Angela. I think you were right. What we're looking for, it's not here. Not anymore.
Thank you for helping me earlier. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserve what happened.
No, Angela, that is not true.
Don't pity me. I'm not worth it. Or maybe you think you can save me? Will you love me? Care for me? Heal all my pain? That's what I thought. James. Give me back the knife.
No, I won't.
Saving it for yourself. Have it your way. It doesn't change anything.
It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too? For me, it's always like this.
Ooh. I can't wait to do the review on this game. For real. That scene was perfect. Absolutely perfect. The actress that plays Angela is just, like, phenomenal. They're all phenomenal. But, like, the delivery of her lines are so different from the original one. Like, in the original Silent Hill 2, when she says, "Will you love me and take care of me?" Angela, she's kind of like losing it a wee bit, and the way that she says it in the original one, it sounds a bit odd. Her voice goes up. So in the original one, she goes, "Will you love me?" It sounds like that. "Will you take care of me?" And it's weird. Like, it's quite a strange. It kills the moment a little bit. But there, the way that she says it is so defeated. It's so like, I am so done. I am done with this journey. This is the end. This is the end of mine. And then she walks up the staircase. And that's it. But then you seen when James said it's hot as hell in here, and Angela said, look, for me, it's always like this. So it's like, that's what her, like, hell looks like. And James has got a glimpse of it again. That's the second time he's managed to get a glimpse of, like, what Angela is going through. But, oh god, just the difference in the voice acting there was massive. Oh, monster? But we are very close to the end. Now that that scene with Angela's by, we're very, very close to our end. So we'll find out what that is very soon. Very, very soon. I'm hearing screaming. There's a nut or something. 312 to be cleared out. No one's returning. Oh, 312, that was James and Mary's room. Hello? Oh, there's that door again. Remember that? We went through that door like earlier, like in a completely different place. Do we need to go? Is this where we need to go? No, this isn't good. Legs. Okay. This looks like the prison again. It looks the same thing. I like hearing your thoughts on the difference. I think it's really valuable to, even if you're not seeing it through me, if you've played it yourself or if you've watched it or whatever, I think it helps that if you're intrigued about Silent Hill, it helps watching both. Like if you want to watch the original one and this one, it really makes the theories go wild. Welcome to the chat room. What? Am I still live? I hope so. Don't know what happened there. Oh shit, this is it. This is it. This is the final bit. Well, they've made this easy enough. Thanks, Gemma. I don't know why it says welcome to the chat room. I know that I'm not going to be able to go this way, but I'm gonna... Oh fuck, I didn't save it. What's that?
James!
Leave her alone. Leave us both the hell alone. I know what you are. I know why I needed you. But it's all over now. I don't need you anymore. I'm ready.
Bittles too. Oh, this is gonna suck. Hurry up, James. Oh, fuck. Oh, he actually throws it? Oh, that's new. Right. Handgun. Oh! Well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. They died a lot quicker than I thought. What is happening? So they're both holding something. Keep in mind there is two. There was an indication that there was two previously, because the first one had the great knife, right? And then we bumped into a second one that had a spear. That was kind of an indication that there was two, but you always thought there was just one. There was actually always two. Scarlet egg. Rust-coloured egg. I didn't need to save it then. I'm very surprised about that. Hello, Cranky. We're right at the end. We're right at the very end. Oh, wait, what's that? Oh, good bullets. I'm going to need them. Is there anything else in the corners? Oh, there is. I didn't actually notice. That fight did not take long at all. I love that. You know what was nice as well? How we seen Maria, where she's not there now, that her hair was actually like dangling the way that Gravity would. In the PS2 version, it was the same. She was like strapped into this cage, but her hair was like non-moving, and it's like actual hair would fall down. If you're hanging upside down, your hair will like fall down, like Gravity pulls it down. The eggs are important. What does an egg signify? Rust-coloured egg, scarlet egg. Like, what is it? It was like Lego hair. I can't believe we're getting this finished. Can I put the other... Can you let me put the other egg in? Why can I not put the other egg in the door? Game. Oh wait, there's 2 doors. My bad. Okay. End game. We ready? New life?
What do you want, James? Flowers? I don't want any dead flowers. Just go home already. Look at me. I'm disgusting. Between the disease and the drugs, I look like a monster. Well, what are you looking at? Get the hell out of here. Leave me alone already. I'm no use to anyone. I'll be dead soon anyway. It'd be easier if they just killed me. But I guess the hospital's making a nice profit off of me. Why are you still here? I told you to go. Are you deaf?
So, there might have been more to that conversation, but I ran through the door as quick as possible, and there is a reason for that. Oh, Polaroid. Shape forces the mind. 26. I don't know if I got all of them. I've got a feeling that I didn't, but hopefully I can get them in like New Game Plus or whatever, or a replay. I don't know exactly. Right. This is it. This is it. Up the stairs. Wait. I am quite eager to see what's going to happen here because I don't know if my choices will have mattered by what I did. And I'll explain what I mean once we're out of it. Oh, a ladder, okay. You ready?
Mary?
James. I've been waiting. It's been so long. Didn't you want to see me?
Yes. More than anything. You're all I ever wanted.
That's not true. Is it?
Mary?
You killed me, James.
Yes. I did. I couldn't bear to see you suffer.
Don't make excuses. I know how you saw me, how you felt. You really hated me. Didn't you?
It's true, I may have had some of those feelings.
Bastard.
It was a long 3 years. I was so tired.
I guess I understand. I know I was a burden. You wanted a long, happy life. Something I couldn't give. Can she?
Mary, please, if I could.
No, James. Those were the last precious moments I had. How could I ever forgive you?
What's this? Well, this is different. Okay. Right, I just need to wait.
James.
Makes you sure.
James.
Did I get it? Oh, I did. I got the ending I wanted. Fuck.
What is this?
It's what you've been looking for.
Let's go.
Better do something about that cough.
Oh, damn. Oh, he's a prick. Just gonna turn this down a little bit. Got the ending I wanted. So there's 5 endings to Silent Hill 2. Don't worry, I'll explain. I know that you've got questions. So that ending is called the Maria ending. Can I backseat you about healing items now? What are you gonna say? What are you telling me? That late, the game's over. He is an asshole. He really, really is. They actually, did the ending almost exactly the same. The Heaven's Night thing was not in the original, though, where she's just sleeping on the bar, but it makes sense that's where she would be. Syringe fully heal. I know, I used that at the end. I only had, a few nutrition drinks. I was using those first. And then once I had used those, I used the syringes. What about it? I'm confused what you're saying now. You could have kept them until you had the 3rd injured state. Did I die, though? Did I die? No, I didn't. So I didn't. Played it the way that I would have played it. I lived. So are there good and bad endings? Yes and no, Gemma. So technically there's no good ending. All of the endings are... There's definitely bad endings. There's definitely bad ones. But none of them are really that good. I'll explain all of them though. There's quite a lot to get into. So... Right, good and bad endings. So this is the Maria ending, which is technically a good ending, but it's got bad connotations. So what it means is, as you've seen at the end there, we found Mary on the bed and she's like saying to James, like, you killed me, obviously, and that you took away like the last moments of my life kind of thing. It wasn't his choice to make, okay? It wasn't his choice. But she was confronting him about what he had done and making him face it. And she was even being quite forgiving about it, like, oh, like, you must have hated me over those 3 years that she was sick. But she knew that James resented her because James wanted his own life back. James was fed up of Mary's illness, right? And in his mind, he killed Mary because he didn't want her to suffer. But actually, the truth is, he just didn't want to suffer anymore because his life was being impacted. So he killed her so he could get on with his own life. But in his mind, his deluded mind, he was making up these excuses like, oh, it was like the sympathetic thing to do. But Mary's like confronting him about this. But he's like playing through this in his mind. Anyway, the ending that we got with Maria, Mary actually mentioned it and she was like, oh, what was the words that she used? She said something like, what did she say? Like the other woman, she mentioned something like her. Will she do? So I can't remember what she said. So she's referencing Maria, right? Now remember, if you've not pieced this together already, Maria looks identical to Mary, except she's got like blonde hair, the red tips, she dresses provocatively, she acts very like sensual, she's very flirtatious, and Mary is way more conservative and modest. The way that she dresses, the way that she acts, like she's just like a good wife, right? She's like a good, sweet woman. But Maria is like a little bit more on the wild side. And that's what James likes. And that's what James wants. So Maria is not a real person. Because what we did in Silent Hill, we went to Silent Hill. Oh, there's 8 endings. That's unusual. Okay, 8. I don't know what the 8 endings are. Need to play it 8 times. So, wait till I continue. Ending Maria, yes. 23 hours, Jesus Christ. Number of times checked the map, 858. Oh, that sounds about right. Continue. Total enemies killed. I only died 5 times, that's really not that bad. Oh, 648 dodges. Steel pipe. You have gained access to New Game Plus, where you can play with access to additional items, graphic modes, and endings. Nice. Oh, the menu's changed. Right, cool. Okay. So, right, let's leave this as is. So where was I? I will explain everything. There's a lot to explain. I'll get to Pyramided. What did you say, boy? When he said he was tired, I was like, how do you think Mary felt? Exactly. James is selfish. James is a very selfish person, and this will lead me on to what Pyramid Head is, right? So, Maria's not real. Maria is a figment of James's imagination, and she was born in Silent Hill from what James wanted out of a woman. Now, it's funny how she had Mary's likeness, but she was so different from Mary. Like, she wasn't Mary. And it's kind of, it's indicative of, like, he didn't want what Mary was. No, even, like, when before Mary was sick, James obviously wanted something a bit different from Mary, but, like, it's as if he settled for Mary, even though he'd be lucky to have somebody like Mary, because she's a sweetie, right? She's a sweetheart. So Maria is, like, this figment of James's imagination. And it's why she had, like, Mary's memories, like some of Mary's memories, when you seen her behind the bars in the prison and she was able to recite things and know things that Mary knew. But It's why she couldn't like fight the monsters or protect herself or anything, because she's not even there. She's not real, right? She can't do anything, right? But that's Maria, pretty much. The reason that she kept dying all the time was because James was punishing himself, right, for Mary dying. So in his mind, you know, he's running through Silent Hill. Oh, I need to find Mary, right? I need to find Mary. But then every time we had Maria, she would die, right? She'd always die, but she'd come back and then she'd die again. And it's as if James is like reliving what he did, but he's not quite understanding the connection. Because in those moments of Maria dying, James is like, oh, like, I can't understand this. I don't know what's wrong. And then he's like, oh, I better go and find Mary again. And he would keep like changing his mind. And he's like, oh, I need to go and find Mary, right? Because he's still deluded. He doesn't see the truth until this, when he's watching the video in this hotel room. And then he's like, oh, that's right, I killed Mary. And it all comes back. But that's him dealing with his grief. So, Pyramid Head, right? We'll deal with the first one. Well, the first one, technically. There's two. There's different interpretations of why there's two. But basically, Pyramid Head is James. Right? When we're running through Silent Hill, we're running through James's psyche. And the monsters that he is seeing, including Pyramid Head, are also like figments of his imagination. It's things that he's put together. And he's like, what the fuck? But Pyramid Head was very specific. Because Pyramid Head is James's personal punisher. He is James's guilt, right? One of them is guilt. That the embodiment of one of them is guilt and grief over what he's done. Right? And the other one, right, this is when it gets complicated. Freud. Psychoanalytic theory. There's the three different states. There's the id, there's the ego, and there's the superego. So the id is instinct, like animalistic instinct, nothing else there, right? Ego is reality, what is. And the superego is virtues and like your moral compass, okay? So the second Pyramid Head is James's id. It's just instinct. It's what he wants. So that's like Maria, right? Lust, all of that kind of stuff. That's the thing that drives him. So he's got guilt chasing him, and he's also got the other one, which is just these wants and needs and like want to have. If you think about it overall, he killed Mary because he wasn't getting what he wanted. So like, he wasn't getting like the sexual attention that he wanted. He wasn't getting the life that he wanted. He had all this idea, he wanted all of these things, and Mary was like, she was a burden to him. Didn't matter about like her illness or that. He was more worried about himself, and his desires and his wants outweighed her illness and like the care that he should have been given for her. James is a monster. James is not a good person, and he knows that, and that's what makes him such an interesting character. He knows that he's a fucking prick, right? He knows he's a bad guy, but he's running through Silent Hill, like desperately trying to deal with his own grief. And like, if you think about it in real life, despite fantastical things that you see in Silent Hill, grief can really do like a mental number on you. And people deal with grief in very, very different ways. A lot of people do go into denial. Denial is usually a very big thing to start with. If you lose somebody in your life, or you know that you're going to lose somebody, you go through stages, right? So you've got like, you know, grief and anger and sadness and all the rest of it, and you go through the stages. James is in such a high stage of complete delusion. He's like, oh, I got a letter from my dead wife, and now we're going to Silent Hill and I'm going to find her, right? Now, Silent Hill did call to James. Eddie actually mentions it when you meet him earlier in the game, and he says, like, this town called to you too. Now, the only people that you meet in Silent Hill, like real people, are Eddie, Angela, and Laura, right? Well, Laura's questionable. But Eddie and Angela and James, do you remember that scene where you walk into a graveyard, but it's like inside a building, and there was 3 gravestones? and it said Angela, Eddie, and James. And you could jump down James's one, right? All 3 of those people were sent to Silent Hill to be punished because all of them did something to be punished for, but they were all being punished for different things. So Eddie had murdered a man. He killed a dog as well, because he mentions that, and he talks about how he liked to do that. He was quite sick, but Eddie was like, he lost his mind. Eddie was psychotic, and he was saying like, oh, he looked at me funny or whatever, so I killed him. We don't really know any more about Eddie's backstory. His is the most shallow. That's kind of all that we know. And then we end up killing Eddie because he's so far gone that we end up killing him, right? But with Angela was sent there because she killed her dad. Because, well, we've seen how she suffered at the hands of him and how horrific that was. Angela's story was so well told in this one. Like, I honestly can't commend Blue Team enough how well they did that. But she gave James the knife at the beginning of the game, right? And she's like, can you hold on to this because I don't know what I'll do. Because she was threatening to like use it on herself. But she killed her dad. There was a newspaper article about it saying that there had been a murder, but the murder weapon hadn't been found, and it was a sharp object, right? And you get that object from Angela, and it's got blood on it, right? You can't use it as a weapon, and that's why it's kind of significant that way. But it's why I just feel it's so unfair in Angela's case, because it's just like, Angela was such a victim, and I don't see Eddie as a victim at all, and I definitely don't see James as a victim. But Silent Hill is like, it's got its own way where it's like, you have to come here and deal with this. And it's horrible. And you actually got to see into some of Angela's personal hell. So if I've not mentioned that either, Silent Hill brings you in to make you face your own personal hell. So Angela and Eddie wouldn't have seen Pyramid Head because he is personal to James. It's in James's mind, he can only be seen by him. But there maybe is a chance that there was glimpses of him, maybe. But maybe he didn't look the way that we see him, like with the actual, like the cone-shaped like helmet and the apron, like that kind of butchery type look. We find a picture of him in the Historical Society, but that wouldn't have been in actual Silent Hill. I think that's just what James is seeing. But there is a painting in the Historical Society of a type of religious figure, and he's wearing a hood, right? Like a kind of triangular shaped hood, and it's red. And it's kind of like, is James remembering that from when him and Mary came here? Because remember, they were here when Silent Hill was just a town, just a plain town, right? No monsters or anything. So they visited things. They went to the local like tourist places. They went to explore. So they would have went to the Historical Society and they would have seen these paintings. And it's like James has probably kept this in mind. But he's created like that figure on his own. But remember, he did face off against Angela's like personal punisher, which the name of the monster's actually called Abstract Daddy. That's the name of the monster. They've got an official name. It's terrible. But what we were seeing as James might not have been what she was seeing, right? So there's it kind of overlaps and gets a wee bit complicated. But this is why I always get annoyed, right? Because Pyramid Head is personal to James. But then in later Silent Hill games, the ones that are really weak, they put Pyramid Head into them. And it makes no sense because James is not in those games. And it was just because Pyramid Head is the most iconic Silent Hill monster, right? He's the most iconic. But he's only relevant to James. He's very, very specific. Like I said, it's literally James's id. Like, it's part of him, it's part of his psyche, it's one of his drives. Like, the main one, really, that attacks us, because there is two. Like I said, one is guilt, one is not. But, I can't even explain it all on this stream. It goes way, way deeper than that. And a lot of it's mostly theories, but I don't really think I'm wrong about this. I just think it's amazing how, like, you, as the player, you feel so sorry for James in the beginning. You're like, oh my God, I'm looking for my wife. And you're so intrigued by it. Like, I'm looking for my dead wife. Like, it tells you in the beginning of the game. she died. But you're immediately hooked and you're like, what does this mean? And you've got all these questions. But then you get to this scene where you sit in front of the telly and you watch that video that they took, and James is faced with what he did. And then you as the player seen what he did, and it's like, oh my God, James, you killed her. You're the monster. And then he even admits to it that Mary was a burden. Oh, I was so tired after those 3 years. Oh, it must have been really hard for you, James, you know. No thinking about Mary having a terminal illness that was killing her like every single day. But he was like complaining. He's such a prick. He was only in the film, Sean, because he's iconic. That's why. But it didn't make any sense that he was in it. But you just have to be like, it was fan service. It was complete fan service. But he's very, very personal to James. Both of them, really. Oh, aye, when Maria coughs, he's so cold to indicate that he's still a piece of shit. Aye. So basically that, Maria coughing and James being like, you better get that cough scene to it, and he's very cold and blunt about it. It's because he's basically saying, you better not get sick, because I'm not going to go through that again. He's actually a dick. He's a horrible person. James is the monster. That's why it was bothering me earlier. Remember when we first started the game and I was saying how annoyed I was that they made him attractive? I was annoyed about it because I'm like, I know what you are. I know you're a monster and I'm annoyed that you're attractive. Because if you, in the psychology of people, you like to look at things that are pretty, right? And you're drawn to things that are pretty. You're more likely to trust somebody who is attractive rather than not. It's a conventional rule of human nature. It's how it is. We all like pretty things. And even if you can get a beautiful person who's a piece of shit, right? But you're likely to be more open to them because they've got a pretty face, right? Horrible truth, but it's true. And in the case with James, it bothers me that they made him pretty because, like, in the PS2 one, I mean, PS2 graphics, like, it wasn't really the best, but even in the cutscenes, James, he just looked kind of boring. There was nothing really exciting about him. Maria looked good. Maria did look very good. And the cutscenes in-game was a little bit more lacking. But James just was like, eh. But in this one, they made him look really attractive. And I've saw on Twitter, there's so many people being like, we don't care what James did, you know, he's pretty. And it's like, oh, shut up. But it's funny that I just have to laugh. Like, don't worry, I don't take it that seriously. It's just a game. But just there's so many interesting takes. I will be putting this onto YouTube as the regular playthrough, but I am going to do like a full review of the game. So I'll be able to cut things out and explain things, and I'll do theories about Silent Hill, because it's like all of that is... how would you put it? There is a lot of it. I can't explain it all in one stream. And I'm just trying to take all this from memory. But this is the same as the original game. It's the same thing. There's nothing different there. Eddie and Angela were both real, Sean. Yes. But, oh, aye, Sean, that's another thing. It's another indication about the monsters. The monsters all had a type of appeal, right? The legs, right? The legs were feminine, right? They weren't masculine by any means. They moved in a feminine way. They even had feminine, like, sounds. And the way that they would lunge at James and wrap themselves around him. So even in the kind of violence, that was still all coming from, like, a sexual place. So even the monsters were, like, a thing for James. And the nurses, right? Nurses are kind of self-explanatory. Nurses tend to be, like, a kink for a lot of people. And even the way that they moved and like they moaned and the way that they breathed and writhed on the floor. You don't know as well if James enjoyed what he did to Mary. Like, if he actually liked it. because he might have done. And then that kind of comes through with when he's seeing monsters and the way that they're moving and like the way that they're like all covered in blood, and you don't know. James is a fucked up person, right? Messed up. But it's all. Also, don't forget, it's less obvious in the remake, but there's a scene when you first bump into Pyramid Head and he's holding a pair of legs and he's like, I don't want to say he's like pushing them apart, but it's indicating that that's what's happening and they're very close, right? So it's like Pyramid Head and the legs are, woohoo, and then he drags a pair of them away. So it's like that's the one that's the like the lust. That's the one that's the id. I want this, I'll take this. It's fascinating, isn't it? It's absolutely fascinating. There was a nurse's outfit in Heaven's Night, and then you seen when Maria was constantly being flirtatious towards him in the bar, because that was a whole new scene, and she was offering him a drink and everything. And the way that she would say things to him, the way that she spoke to him behind the bars, when you found her like in the prison, like underneath the prison, and she touches his face and the way that he looks at her, and he's fighting so hard because he wants her. And he knows that he does, and he's trying to fight it because morally he's like fighting with his cell. He's like, oh no, like I should be looking for Mary, but he's letting that side win. Like he's letting it win, and that's why Pyramid Head shows up later and kills Maria again, because it's like, well, that's the id coming back. You know, that's the id taking over. Want. I want this. Oh, it's... Anyway, I'm intrigued how there's 8 endings. There was only 5 in the original, and they were called Maria, Leave, In Water. Oh, what was the other one? What was the other 2 called? Dog ending. What was the 5th one? Oh, what was the 5th one called? Oh, I can't remember what the 5th one was called. Anyway, I'll explain the ones. Do you want to know about the other ones? I mean, I can tell you, I'm not going to spoil anything. In Water is probably like the darkest one that you could get, where James basically drives his car into the lake. And that's the end, right? So that's kind of self-explanatory. So he does that. The Leave ending is when you leave Silent Hill with Laura, and it's implied that you adopt her, because that's what Mary wanted. Oh, they didn't read Mary's letter. Oh, that's something that didn't happen. Huh. Usually you hear Mary's letter at the end. Maybe it doesn't happen with the Maria ending, but it's like it's the whole letter. And it's Mary explaining how she felt in the last days of the hospital and how she doesn't blame James, and like she's so forgiving. And it's like, oh my god, Mary, you just were too good for James. He is an actual piece of shit. The nurses specifically, given the whole sickness theme, I imagine him checking them out while at his sick wife's bedside. Aye, he did. He did. Because he was lonely. Oh dear, James. Oh no, how terrible for you. James as a parent is not a comforting idea. Exactly. But that's what I mean. There is no good ending. But there's also no concrete evidence that Laura is even alive. She could be a ghost. She might not be. She could be real. She might not be. She doesn't see any of the monsters in Silent Hill, but that's only because she didn't commit any crime. She didn't, like, murder anybody, whereas the rest of them did, and that's why they were seeing monsters. Whereas Laura is like, I'm no... Like, what are you talking about? James says to her at one point, like... How does he word it? He's like, you don't even have a scratch on you, kind of thing. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she just kind of like goes from one place to another. But remember, she met Mary in the hospital. So it's like, did Laura die in the hospital and she's a spirit? And she's talking to James because James is like in between reality and like the Silent Hill hell dimension. So it's like Laura might be flitting between. I don't know. It's a theory. It's a theory. She could be alive, but she also could have died. I don't know. But she definitely didn't commit a crime. Because remember, Silent Hill is it's a real town in this world, right? It's a real regular town with regular people in it. But the way that James is in it isn't reality as we would see it, or other people, right? So, it called to James and to Eddie and to Angela, and their experience in Silent Hill on a different plane, like a different plane of existence. So, you know how we're in the hotel, right? When we were in the regular hotel, in actual reality, there probably was people in the hotel at that moment, like staying in it, the way that James and Mary did, like all those years ago. But James is experiencing it on a different plane, so it's no affecting like everyday town vibes. That's what makes it very interesting too. It's like, ooh. There's also the whole thing about children being able to see and interact with the spiritual world in the way that adults can't. That's true as well. We don't know, like we really don't know what happened, but like there's the theory about Laura potentially being a ghost, but it's more implied that she was in the hospital and she was sick. But I don't know, because it's like, I don't know if she's an orphan or like, because there's no parents ever mentioned, and it's like, why is she just running around the town when she's 8 years old? Like, a parent wouldn't allow a child of that age to just run around on their own. But the way that Mary spoke about Laura, it was implied that she wanted to adopt her, because Mary and James don't have children, right? They didn't have kids. I can imagine that was probably James's choice, like he didn't want to have kids. But I think Mary would have, but James would have been like, no, commitment. That means that, like, you know, all my fantasies are gone. Fucking James. Oh, he's a twat. I hate him. What's the other endings? In water, leave. The dog ending is a meme ending, which is like a dog wearing a headset. You walk into a room and there's this dog, and it's sitting at a control centre, and it's as if it's controlling all of Silent Hill. And James walks into the room and talks Japanese at it. And then Maria walks in and also talks Japanese, and it's not translated, it's just left as Japanese. And it's implied that the dog was, the dog's called Mira. It's just implied that the dog was controlling everything, and that was it. It's a joke end, and it's meant to be funny. You can actually get the charm of the wee dog in DVD. It's a wee dog, I don't know what kind of dog it is, but it's wearing the headset. I'm sure it's called Mira. I can't remember what the fourth ending is. Oh no, wait a minute, Rebirth. The Rebirth ending. That's when you pick up special items that the cult of Silent Hill use. That's right. There's now what's it called? There's the obsidian goblet, the white chasm. There's some kind of book of lost memories, I think it's called, and something else. And it's all these key items. You can only find it on your second playthrough. You don't find them on your first one. And if you can gather all these items and you put them in a specific place, it's implied that you can cast some kind of spell and bring Mary back. I would be quite intrigued to see how that one plays out in the remake. But you can only get that the second time round. Now, it's saying that there's 8 endings, so I'm just curious. They must have done brand new endings. I mean, that's my take. I specifically wanted the Maria ending, and I'll tell you how I got it. So, when you get Maria in your party, you need to make sure that you protect her at all costs, because she can't protect herself. Not that you really know this during the game, but she doesn't fight back, because she technically can't, because she's not real. So she doesn't have a weapon, she can't fight back. So you need to protect her from the monsters and stuff. You then need to make sure you check on her multiple times when she lies down. Remember when she starts to feel sick? You need to go and check on her multiple times to show that you care. And you get a cutscene in this one where she says something to you, I forgot what it is, but it's showing that like you care about her, right? What's the next one? The next thing that you need to do is, when you're running through that long hallway at the end, just before we run up all of those steps to fight Mary, you can hear the conversation of Mary to James, in the hospital, and she's saying, how can you look at me like I'm disgusting because of all the medication and the drugs that I'm taking and the illness, like I look like a monster, I'm terrible. You have to run through that hallway before you hear the end of the conversation. You also have to make sure that you don't look at Mary's picture too much, and you don't look at the letter or the handkerchief, because you're trying to convince James to not look back on Mary, like forget about her. And that's all the requirements that you need to get the Maria ending. And then you see Maria going off with James at the end, as if James is going to have this like happy life with Maria. Now, there is so many theories about this, because my personal theory, I think that if James tries to leave Silent Hill with Maria, I just think Maria will disappear, because Maria was born of Silent Hill, and he's faced up to his demons, he's faced up to Pyramid Head, he's dealt with them. So in my imagination, Maria would just disappear every time he left Silent Hill, so he would only be able to have her if he was in Silent Hill. But there's also the possibility that she could leave, right? Imagine she could leave, like she's corporeal now, like she's real, she's flesh, right? And she could go with him, but maybe over time she would just say things that was like Mary, and she would constantly remind James of Mary. So it's kind of like a punishment. It's still a punishment of what he did. He's still not getting what he wants. Or Maria could succumb to the same fate that Mary did, because essentially she was born from Mary, right? So like she could get sick, and then James has to go through it all again, but it's with Maria. What's he going to do then? Like what? It's like, I like the idea that he just keeps getting punished. He just keeps getting punished over and over. Or that he's like living in his own mind of having Maria. But she's not really there because she's not a real person. But maybe she is at the end of Silent Hill, we don't know. Another thought about parenthood, maybe Laura, depending on the disease. I always presumed cancer, same. The treatment can be incompatible with pregnancy, can even cause menopause. In other words, the disease arrives and a whole part of your potential future is gone. Oh aye, absolutely. Absolutely. Because we don't know, like we don't really know about the life before. It's presumed that they went to Silent Hill before she was sick, but she is coughing in the video, like the tape that James takes, like when the camcorder. She is coughing, so I don't know if that means she was sick when they went to Silent Hill, or she was like about to find out how sick she was. I don't know, and I don't think anybody really knows exactly when. My thought always was that she wanted kids, but I know that in canon, James is like 29. I always thought he was older than that. Like he always appears older to me, but he's supposed to be 29, and I don't know how old Mary is. I'm guessing they must be around about the same age, like maybe. But there is so many theories. Like what I'm saying, do not take that like as canon. The game is completely open-ended. It's supposed to let you think, it's letting your brain move and like make up your own mind. But the more and more that you play this game, the more kind of deep that it can go, and the more that you think about it, and it's like, oh, what if? And it's brilliant that way. It's why I've always loved Silent Hill. It gets under your skin and it stays with you. I just think it's phenomenal. This kind of horror speaks to me more than just like gore, right? Just gore and blood and something like with big teeth or whatever, right? Whatever. I like this. This haunts you. Like it really does. It really, really does. And I know that I've probably not answered all of your questions, and it's like, I don't know all the answers either, but I've given you an insight of what is or what could be. But I'm interested in these other endings. I'm not going to play it on stream, obviously. I will play it on my own. But in the original game, Maria actually has her own story. I can't call it DLC because you didn't get DLC back in PS2 days, but they did release a director's cut of Silent Hill 2, and it came with what was called a sub-scenario. Right, that was the name of it in the game. And it's basically a short campaign of Maria. And it's Maria just before you meet James. And she has her own story. Like, she goes through like her own like little journey. And the beginning of it, from what I remember, because my memory is very fuzzy about it, she just wakes up in a room one day and she doesn't know how she got there or where she is. She just wakes up and she's like, how did I get here? What's this? And I remember there's a gun sitting. And the first thing that she wants to do with the gun is not like it's not an ideal thing. But that's basically Maria being born. The sub-scenario is called Born from a Wish. Oh, CD. Born from a Wish. Maria, that's how Maria was born, because James wanted that, what Maria is. So you go through the story. I don't remember it exactly, so I'm not going to try and guess it. I just remember the beginning part. But the beginning and the end. The end is when she walks off into the fog, and it's implied that that's where James meets her, at Rosewater Park, because it's all foggy there, and he meets her like at the pier. Right? But that's her. That's when she came to be. Just then. She wasn't alive before that. I don't even know if I want to call her alive, really, because it's no... We don't know if she is. Like, if other people can see her, or if Silent Hill makes her real. Like, because Silent Hill's a mystical place. It can do a lot of things. But, I don't know. Maria's not bad, by the way. She's definitely not a bad person. Maria was always my favourite. But I really like how they did Mary in this one. They've made her even more sweet. And it's difficult at the end to kill her. Because it's like, you have to kill her again. Like, really? You've got to kill her? And the way that the game makes you shoot her at the end, when she's helpless, and she's in the frame is, like, symbolic of the bed that she died on, right? But, like, she's, like, going, James... And she's helpless, right? Even after her monster form, she's helpless, she's lying there, and the game makes you shoot her. It's not a cutscene that takes her out. The game makes you shoot her again. And it's like, again and again and again. It's like forcing forcing James to face into what he's done. It's like, you did this. This is all your fault, and he keeps reliving it. So James does keep getting punished. I don't think James can walk out of this in any healthy state, even if he gets Maria, right? It's not a happy ending, and any of the endings aren't happy. He still has to live with what he did, and like whatever other punishment he might get from himself. He's not going to have Pyramid again. Like, I don't really believe that. But there's so many theories. There's so many theories. And then about the eggs that you put into the door, and they're symbolic of like new life starting again. Then there's the rust egg and the scarlet egg. And I truly think like the rust one is like old, right? It's signifying something of old. And the scarlet one is something new. Scarlet, right? The colour is Maria's colour scheme. Maria's the new one. And the rust one is Mary. She's the old life. She's like what is undesirable, is unwanted. And the scarlet one is like new and shiny and wah. It's like two things, the duality. Phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. Did you like it? Is your mind blown? I hope I've explained it as well as I could. I mean, I've done what I could. I didn't actually think that we would finish it today. I honestly thought that we would maybe have to go into tomorrow. I mean, I've went over my time, but we've finished it in plenty of time, and I've managed to sit and explain. The eggs don't change now. No, they're the same. They're the same, regardless. It's always the same too. I love it when games give you something to sink your teeth into. Oh, absolutely, Cranky. That's why I adore this game. This is why Silent Hill 2 is my favourite horror game. Nothing will ever beat that for me. The remake is very good, though. Like, there is definitely bits of the game I didn't like. Where I just didn't like how it was handled. No much, honestly. And I'm not meaning this to be, like, super cynical. But I didn't like how they represented Pyramid Head, and some of the scenes I just didn't think he was menacing enough, and it wasn't threatening. It didn't give the same vibe that it should have, and it wasn't as creepy as it could have been. In some of his design, I wasn't happy about it. But almost everything else, very, very happy about it. The voice acting, oh my god, and the motion capture. There was a scene, I noticed it earlier, where Angela, before she was gonna walk up the steps, and she was like, you could tell that she was done. She was so done with everything, right? And she kind of bites her lip, and it's just the way that she bites her lip. It was just a wee like micro expression. It was just a really good job by the actor, and I thought, God, it really adds like the human element to it, and it makes such a difference. If you can compare, if you get the chance, you can wait for a video that I'm going to make, or you can go and find out yourself, because I am going to do like comparisons of the two. But if you had put those scenes side by side of the original like fire staircase with Angela and then the remake, the difference in those delivery, like the lines, it's just, oh, it speaks volumes for how things are delivered can just like totally change your perspective and the way that you look at something. Because the way that the original was done, and I don't blame the actor for it, because it was definitely the way that the actors were directed. It came across very wooden and unfeeling, and just, you didn't connect to them really. You felt sad because you're like, oh, the story's sad, like the writing is good, but the acting was not. The acting wasn't good in the original. Maria was probably the strongest, and once again, it's no a reflection on any of the actors' abilities. It was because they were being directed just in a way that didn't come across very well. But in the remake, that's like totally different. So like I am so impressed by it, like massively, massively impressed. Oh, Sean, it's meant to hurt. It's meant to hurt you. That's what makes it good. Like, because it's meant to make you feel things. It's meant to make you face things and think about things. And it's not a comfortable game. It's meant to put you in a state of being uncomfortable and being disturbed. That's the sign of a good horror game. It's not just a case of, oh, it's some serial killer with a knife. Oh, there's a monster in it. Oh no, a big monster. Like, it's the human element that's disturbing. James is the monster. James is the bad guy. But you're forced to play as him. It's incredible storytelling. But like, you're allowed to feel like that. Of course, but I played this game when I was 14. Like the original one, I played it when I was 14, maybe a wee bit younger, maybe 13, 14. And I played it to death. I played it over and over and over and over again. Because back then, the internet was not as filled out, right? It wasn't as fleshed out as what it is now. There was no YouTube. There was forum boards where there was a Silent Hill one that I joined, and people had theories and they would kind of throw them around. And I used to like go on that and be like, oh, I never thought about that. And I would take in like other people's thoughts and it would make me think. But like I would keep playing the game over and over because I just wanted to know more. I was hoping that I would find something new and like anything that could help me understand it a bit better. But that is the point of it. It's meant to get you into a state of, you're meant to question things. And like I said before, it haunts you, and it's meant to. It's meant to go under your skin, and it's meant to stay with you. It digs its claws into you, and it doesn't leave. It's not just another generic horror game that you forget about, like after a month or so. Like I said, I played the original when I was about 14-ish, and it's stayed with me ever since. And it's a very important game to me because of how powerful it is. And it has so many layers that as I've got older, I've appreciated it more and more, especially like with Mary being ill and like the way that you feel when you're so sick and you feel like you're not going to recover. Now, touch wood, I didn't have and I don't have whatever Mary had, right? But when I was sick, like last year, I did go through, this is a personal thing for me, I did go through a time where I thought I wasn't coming out of the other side. And I thought that was it. And the way that Mary's speaking in the game, and the way that she's talking, and the way that she's feeling, she hates how she looks, and she's like, oh, I'm a monster, like the way that I'm looking at me, and she's feeling so sorry for herself, and she's angry, but she's tired. And it's like you feel like a prisoner in your own body. You don't know what to do. You just kind of wait to see what happens, but it's as if there's this counter over your head. You're just waiting. It's like, what's going to happen? Now, I was lucky where, obviously, like, that didn't happen to me, but I definitely felt that way. And that was the darkest time in my entire life. But as I've experienced that, and I play this game again, I'm appreciating it even deeper than before. It's usually the case that when you watch anything in media and there's a storyline about something that you've experienced, it's gonna touch you more, whether it's affected you or it's affected somebody in your family or someone in your life, and then it will connect to you deeper because it's part of you. You've experienced a similar thing, and like it really gets you and it really hits you emotionally. So there's a lot of things in this game. There is many themes in this game and many things that happen in this game that could absolutely have happened to, anyone, any of you. And like I said, it's very uncomfortable and it's scary and it's, it's hard and it's dark. But the way that it's framed in the game, it's not afraid of that. It's not afraid to show it, but it doesn't need to be super graphic about things. They've put it across in a way where it's like, oh, it's a monster or it's whatever, and it's taking up like space. It's not the same as how we would see things in real life, but that's what I said. It makes you uncomfortable. It's supposed to, but it's why there is a trigger warning at the beginning of the game. It very clearly tells you, here are the themes that are going to be in this game. Now, I'm happy that in the remake they did that, because in the original there was no trigger warning. Back in like early 2000s, like even later, even later on, it was unlikely that you would get any kind of warning like that. Those things have kind of showed up more recently. But when I played the original one, I had a message that would come up in the what do you call it? In the chat. This was it. Right? And it would direct you to this website, and it's called Does the Dog Die? And it's a generic website that you go onto and you type in the name of the game or the film or whatever it is that you're going to watch, and it will tell you if it has any specific theme that you might want to avoid, because it could trigger you, it could make you upset. So I would always tell people, I would bring that little command up and I would say, go to this website, because I didn't want to give anything away. But especially the stuff about Angela, that's the hardest bit in the whole game for me. It's very difficult for me to get through that, and I think it's difficult for anybody to watch it and to understand what's happening. But I always knew when we were coming up to that bit, and I would deliberately take like a good 5 minutes and I would brace people and I would say, listen, you need to be ready for what's coming next, and please go to this website, and if there's anything that's going to affect you, maybe don't watch what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes or so, because I was trying to protect everybody, but at the same time, it's part of the story. So I still have to get through it to progress in the game. But it's difficult. It's hard. But that is Silent Hill. That's Silent Hill 2. And I'm really glad I could play it for you. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching me go through this journey. I know that other people, many others, will have played on stream. The remake has been very well received, and quite rightly so, to be honest, because it deserves it. It does. The Bluebell team definitely did a good job. But that's me played the original for you. That's me played the remake, and that was my first time playing the remake. So I'm happy to have shared it with you. I hope that you liked my reactions for it, but I'll definitely be putting it onto YouTube like later on. I don't know when I'm going to get round to that. But I'll be doing quite a lot of things with Silent Hill. Like, I'll be doing a review, I'll have this, I'll have the Let's Play, like, cut up into bits. I'll also have theories and trivia and did you know and all that kind of stuff. I'll have all of that, like, up at one point. And that was it.